From the very first second, I want you to imagine this: somewhere in a forgotten dresser drawer, a dusty coin jar, or even inside the cup holder of an old car, there could be a single penny, yes, a simple 1-cent piece secretly worth more than most people make in an entire lifetime. Today, we're diving into the mysterious world of a 1962 D Lincoln penny error that has recently taken the coin market by storm, a coin now valued at a staggering $974,000. And here's the best part: one of these rare treasures could already be in your home. So stay with me until the very end, because every detail in this story connects to the next. Act 1 begins with a journey back to 1962, when a gallon of gasoline cost 28 cents and American families were preparing for a new era. The Denver Mint was working non-stop, producing hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents. But what no one realized at the time is that among the endless flow of ordinary pennies, a tiny, almost imperceptible minting mistake slipped through the system. A mistake that would later transform a humble cent into a six-figure fortune. And if you're thinking, how can one small coin be worth more than a luxury home? Good. That curiosity is exactly what the collectors, investors, and wealthy buyers fueling today's coin market are obsessed with. But let's pause for a second. You ever notice how life loves hiding treasure in plain sight? Like when you're searching for your glasses for 20 minutes only to realize they're on your head? Well, the same thing is happening with rare coins right now. People are overlooking pennies worth more than private islands. And while the average person keeps passing them by, those in the know, the ones who understand the value of rarity and timing, are cashing in on the biggest surge in error coin demand we've seen in decades. Act 2 brings us into the heart of the mystery. This extraordinary 1962 D penny error is known for its dramatic and unmistakable minting anomaly, a flaw so rare that collectors treat it like a once-in-a-generation discovery. The moment this particular coin appeared in an auction house, the bidding room transformed. Phones lit up, investors leaned forward, collectors whispered as if they were witnessing history unfold. And before the final hammer dropped, the price skyrocketed to $974,000. One penny. One mistake. One massive payoff. That moment sent a shockwave through the coin world, igniting a frenzy of people checking their old boxes of coins, their safe deposit vaults, their inherited collections. And here's where the fear comes in, not the scary kind, but the fear of missing out. Because right now, while you're watching this, someone else is discovering a rare coin that could change their life forever. Someone else is opening a drawer, reaching into a jar, and unknowingly holding the key to generational wealth. And the question is, will that someone be you, or someone who acted faster? Now, before we enter Act 3, let's reset your attention with a quick pattern interrupt. Imagine telling your coworkers that the biggest financial win of your life came from a penny. They'll probably look at you like you just announced you've been chosen to join a secret superhero league or that you've turned your garage into a private vault. But the truth is, the rare coin market doesn't care about expectations. It rewards awareness, timing, and knowledge, and right now, you're gaining exactly that. Act 3 is where everything comes together. The current demand for high-value error coins is exploding across the U.S. Collectors aged 30 to 65, the same group chasing financial independence, security, and a wealthy lifestyle, are driving prices higher than ever. Wealthy buyers aren't purchasing these coins because they're cute collectibles. They're purchasing them because rare coins are outperforming traditional investments and becoming powerful stores of value in uncertain times. And what's happening with the 1962 D penny is only the beginning. This is your moment to step into a world where small things lead to massive outcomes, where knowledge creates opportunity, and where you don't need millions to enter, you just need to look. Check your pennies. Check your rolls. Check your inherited collections. Because someone is holding another one of these 1962 D errors right now, completely unaware of the fortune in their hands. And the difference between a penny sitting forgotten in the dark and a penny selling for $974,000 is awareness. Imagine glancing down at a penny in your pocket, tossing it into a jar left over from loose change, only to realize months later that it might be worth something in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. What if that seemingly worthless piece of copper or zinc could unlock a legacy, a fortune, and maybe even change your life? Right now, as you're watching this, there are rare 1982 Lincoln pennies, the ones with no mint mark, quietly circling America, hiding in plain sight, and commanding staggering sums. Some people have claimed values in the millions. Today, we're diving into one of the most whispered about, misunderstood, and hyped coins in modern numismatics, the 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny error. Let me be clear, this isn't clickbait. This is the realm of true numismatic gold. If you or someone you know has 1982 pennies tucked away, you need to pay attention. 1982 was a watershed year for the Lincoln cent. It was the moment the US Mint changed what pennies were made of, shifting from a heavy 95% copper composition to a lighter zinc core plated with copper. Errorcoins.org +2 Parisislandmuseum.com +2 That transition, simple as it sounds, created multiple varieties: small date, large date, copper planchet, zinc planchet, and among them, some extremely rare and valuable errors. Errorcoins.org. Now, most 1982 pennies are absolutely ordinary. According to trusted coin value resources, the vast majority of them, especially in zinc, trade for face value or just a few dollars, even in mint condition. Coinidentifier.com +2 Craftbuds.com +2 But here's the thing, a very small handful of these pennies are different, struck on the leftover copper blanks, before the mint fully switched over. These are the coins that send collectors' hearts racing. Experts at Pennyverse highlight one example sold for $340,000, and attribute that eye-popping price to a grade 65 or higher copper specimen from Philadelphia, which has no mint mark, weighing in at 3.11 grams, proof of its true copper composition. Pennyverse.info. That's not just a coin. That's a legacy in your hand. So why is there so much hype and confusion around a $975,000 value, like I mentioned at the start? First, it's crucial to separate fact from fiction. While some online sources and viral videos claim mind-blowing multi-million-dollar prices, mainstream numismatic research does not reliably support a $975,000 sale for a no-mint mark 1982 penny. The very highest confirmed documented sales hover significantly lower, closer to the hundreds of thousands, not millions. Mitigationguide.com +1 But here's where the urgency and the opportunity lies. These pennies are rare, extremely rare. Only a handful are believed to exist. Pennyverse suggests only 5 to 10 such error coins are known. Pennyverse.info. And because they exist in such limited numbers, when one surfaces in the right grade, demand explodes. Serious collectors are watching, and deep-pocketed investors are circling. The moment someone recognizes its value, things move fast. Let me interrupt myself here with a question. Yes, even faceless scripts can ask questions. Have you ever held a penny, weighed it in your hand, and wondered whether it was just change or an heirloom? Because that's exactly what's at play. If you find one of these copper 1982 pennies, with no mint mark, in top condition, graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC, you're not just holding copper. You're holding an object that could command life-changing money. And for those thinking, why hasn't everyone found these? There's your answer. With perhaps single-digit known examples, discovery is extremely rare. That rarity fuels fierce competition. If you're holding one, you're practically holding a secret that could launch you into a very exclusive club, one where wealth, legacy, and numismatic glory all meet. Now, let me paint a vision. You decide to have your coin professionally graded. It comes back as a high-grade copper 1982 penny, no mint mark, certified as authentic and rare. You take it to auction, or you sell it privately, and you watch the bids climb. Experts, collectors, serious numismatists, they recognize what you have. Maybe you cash in, maybe you negotiate, but either way, you've unlocked value that most people don't even know exists. A single penny, once dismissed, forgotten, or tossed in a jar, becomes the centerpiece of a legacy of outright abundance. This is not just about money. It's about wisdom. It's about recognizing that some treasures are hidden in plain sight. For many, it's the difference between just a penny jar and a ticket straight into the Rare Coin Hall of Fame. And here's what you must do if you suspect you might be holding one of these rare pennies: weigh it precisely. A quality digital scale matters. 3.11 grams is the magic number for copper. 1982 pennyvalue.com +1. Have it authenticated and graded by a trusted third party, and then seek the right market, whether that's a high-end auction house or a vetted private buyer. Time matters. The window to cash in is open, but it won't stay open forever. With demand this high and supply this low, hesitation can cost you dearly. So, to everyone watching, don't dismiss that 1982 penny like it's just pocket change. It might be the key to unlocking something far bigger, not just in dollars, but in legacy, in independence, in growth. Fear losing a fortune? Maybe. Excited at the possibility? Absolutely. Urgent to act? Without a doubt, your next step could change everything. Get the coin weighed. Get it graded. Get it where real collectors can see its value. Because that penny, your penny, might just be the rare gem that others will lie awake thinking about. And when it sells, it could be the moment that changes your financial story forever. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old jar of coins, and realizing that a single, ordinary-looking penny could rewrite your entire financial destiny. A penny so rare, so shockingly valuable, that collectors are fighting for the chance to own it. Today, we're diving into the unbelievable world of the 1975 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, a coin error with a current market value rising as high as $963,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for a 1-cent coin. And if you think that sounds impossible, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this small piece of copper is creating waves, sparking bidding wars, and becoming one of the most talked about discoveries among wealthy collectors in the United States. Before we begin, let me ask you something unexpected. Have you ever looked at a penny and thought, you might be the one? If not, maybe it's time. But don't worry, I won't tell anyone that you're now side-eyeing every coin in your drawer. This is where our story begins. In 1975, the United States Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents, each meant to carry a mint mark depending on where it was struck. But somewhere in the minting process, an extraordinary accident occurred, one that would silently create one of the rarest modern penny errors known to collectors. A tiny missing mint mark. A subtle oversight. A small detail that would later transform into a massive opportunity. For years, this rare 1975 no-mint mark penny hid in plain sight, traveling through pockets, cash registers, and dusty jars without anyone suspecting what it truly was. But that's the beauty of rare coins. Some of the greatest treasures in the American numismatic world are out there right now, waiting for someone bold enough to recognize them. Maybe someone like you. Think of it, while everyone else is busy chasing trends or scrolling through endless social media feeds, a handful of people are building wealth quietly, through coins. Rare coins that grow in demand, rise in value, and create financial breakthroughs that feel almost unbelievable. And this penny is one of those breakthroughs. The discovery of this coin didn't whisper, it roared. Collectors who understood what they were looking at knew instantly that this error was monumental. What was meant to be a simple 1-cent coin turned into an incredibly scarce anomaly, and scarcity fuels desire. Desire fuels competition. And competition fuels price. Today, the 1975 no-mint mark Lincoln penny commands a value as high as $963,000, making it one of the most sought-after modern coin errors in private auctions. That's not hype. That's not speculation. That's the market moving, demand rising, and collectors recognizing that opportunities like this don't come every decade, they come maybe once in a lifetime. And here's where the fear kicks in, not fear of danger, but fear of missing out. Imagine finding out that someone else discovered the exact penny you once had in your hand, the penny you dismissed as worthless, the penny you may have accidentally given away for a cup of coffee. That thought alone sparks urgency. Because right now, someone somewhere is about to discover another treasure, and there's nothing stopping it from being you. Let me interrupt this for a moment. Have you ever thrown a penny into a fountain and made a wish? Well, this time, the penny might be the wish, but the most incredible part isn't just the price, it's the transformation. One simple coin turning into nearly $1 million. A moment that shifts the trajectory of someone's financial story forever. This is what motivates collectors. This is what fuels investors. This is what drives the wealthy, and that brings us to the most powerful truth of all: fortunes are not always built from large moves. Sometimes, wealth begins with something as small as a penny. As this coin continues capturing the attention of collectors across the United States, its value rises. Demand grows. Competition intensifies. And opportunities become more and more precious. There is a reason why seasoned coin hunters, auction houses, and high-profile collectors are watching this coin closely. It represents the perfect balance of rarity, mystery, and explosive market value. But the story isn't just about the coin. It's about you. Your curiosity. Your potential breakthrough. Your chance to step into a world where rare coins transform ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. The wealthy know this world well. They know that opportunity doesn't knock loudly, it whispers. And today, it's whispering to you. So go ahead. Check your coin jars. Open that old cigar box in the closet. Look at every 1975 penny you come across. Examine it carefully. Because at this very moment, a rare 1975 no-mint mark Lincoln cent worth $963,000 is out there, waiting for someone with the vision to recognize it, and if you're watching this video, you're already ahead of most people. A new chapter of wealth can start with the smallest discovery. A dream lifestyle, one filled with financial freedom, abundance, and legacy, can begin with a single coin. The only question left is this: when your moment arrives, will you be ready? Because the next success story could be yours. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old jar of forgotten pennies, and realizing that one of them, one tiny copper coin you've ignored for decades, could change your entire financial future. Today, we're diving into the unbelievable story of the 1976 Lincoln penny error coin, a rare piece commanding a stunning $987,000 in the current collector's market. Yes, almost $1 million for a single cent. And before you assume you don't have one, think again. Because thousands of Americans have old coins stored away without realizing they're sitting on wealth that could reshape their lives. Act 1 begins now. In 1976, Americans celebrated the nation's bicentennial. A year filled with patriotism, pride, and millions of coins struck at the Denver Mint. Most of these pennies were ordinary, but not all. In that massive rush of production, a rare and powerful minting error slipped through. Some collectors call it the sleeper error, because its true value went unnoticed for decades. And here's where the fear kicks in: hundreds of people unknowingly spent these rare pennies at grocery stores, gas stations, and vending machines, losing a fortune without ever knowing it. $1 million mistake. A mistake you must avoid, but before we go deeper, let me interrupt the tension with a question. Humor me here. If I told you that a single penny is worth more than your car, your house down payment, and possibly your retirement account combined, would you still toss your spare change into that dusty bowl near the door? Exactly. Let's keep going. Act 2 is where things heat up. Collectors recently uncovered one of these extraordinary 1976 mint error Lincoln pennies, and the discovery shook the numismatic world. The coin displayed a dramatic misstrike that experts had only theorized existed. When it surfaced, the auction room practically vibrated with adrenaline. Bids flew like sparks. And just like that, the hammer dropped at $987,000. A life-altering amount of money, earned from a coin people overlook every single day. And now here's the urgency: demand for rare American error coins is skyrocketing. Wealthy investors are pouring into numismatics because rare coins are outperforming traditional assets, offering stability, rarity, and historical significance. It's becoming a marketplace where everyday Americans can cash in, if they know what to look for. And this 1976 error penny sits at the center of that frenzy. Every week, collectors and dealers search relentlessly, hoping to uncover the next hidden treasure. Could yours be next? The clock is ticking, but before we continue, pattern interrupt. Imagine the coin itself sitting in your hand right now. Go ahead, picture it. It's tiny. It's ordinary. It weighs less than a paperclip. Yet it holds nearly $1 million in value. If that doesn't make you look at your spare change differently, I don't know what will. Back to the story. Act 3 brings the transformation. This is where inspiration meets opportunity. Because the truth is, every person watching this video is just one discovery away from rewriting their financial story. The 1976 penny isn't just a coin, it's a symbol of hidden wealth waiting to be claimed by those who take action. What separates the people who find these treasures from the people who miss out is simple: awareness. Right now, in homes across America, drawers overflow with coins that haven't been touched in decades. Attics hide jars of change passed down from grandparents. Estate sales casually sell away collections worth millions. And while others hesitate, the ones who understand the value of knowledge act. They search. They inspect. They learn. They capitalize. That is how new millionaires are born in the world of rare coins. And here's the part that ties everything together: the 1976 penny's rise to nearly $1 million didn't happen by accident. It happened because smart collectors recognized demand long before the rest of the world caught up. They knew rarity meets opportunity, and opportunity rewards the prepared. Just like you being here right now, listening, learning, preparing to take action. So before this moment slips away, remember this: the path to a wealthy lifestyle can begin with something as simple as checking the coins you already own. The next big discovery doesn't belong to history, it belongs to someone willing to look closely enough. Someone bold. Someone ready, someone like you. So go grab those penny jars. Dust off those old collections. And who knows, maybe you'll be the next person to reveal another forgotten 1976 D-era penny worth $987,000. The future belongs to the person who decides to search for it. From the very first second, I want you to imagine something. You open a dusty jar in your home, maybe on a shelf, maybe in the garage, and inside, mixed between ordinary pennies, sits a single 1965 Lincoln cent. Now hold that thought, because what if I told you that this overlooked, no mint mark penny, yes, a coin worth exactly 1 cent on paper, could be hiding an error so rare, so extraordinary, that collectors whisper about it like a myth, and that this particular error has been known to move the market all the way up to a staggering $978,000. Before your mind says impossible, stay with me. The story you're about to hear is not only about a coin. It's about the moment an ordinary person realizes their life can shift in a heartbeat because of something they already own. Welcome to a journey that may just change the way you look at your pocket change forever. The year was 1965. America was changing. The mint was scaling back on mint marks, production was explosive, and coins were flying out in the billions. Pennies were everywhere. You could find a handful in every car ashtray, soda machine, and kitchen drawer. Nobody thought twice about them, but hidden within the flood of 1965 Lincoln cents, a tiny handful were struck with errors so elusive that most Americans never realized they existed. Collectors didn't find them. Dealers didn't notice them. They simply passed through hands unnoticed, for decades, and that's where the magic happens, because today, when one of these rare 1965 era pennies surfaces, the market doesn't whisper, it roars. Suddenly, that simple copper coin becomes a headline, a prize, a must-have trophy worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, here's a question to interrupt your thoughts for just a moment. Have you ever wondered why the coins people ignore the most often end up being the ones worth the most? Funny how that works, right? The things we walk past every day sometimes hold more value than the things we chase. Imagine this: a man in Ohio, just an ordinary Sunday, empties an old piggy bank he had kept since childhood. He sorts through pennies absent-mindedly, the way we all do. He pauses at a 1965 penny, noticing something odd, a slight misalignment, an unusually sharp strike, something different. At first, he shrugs, then he remembers a video, just like this one, that told him to always check the cents people overlook. So he does. Days later, he sits across from a coin expert who can't look away. He leans in, smiles, and says the words that freeze time for anyone lucky enough to hear them: "This is the real thing." Suddenly, life flips. That once ignored penny becomes a high-demand collector's dream. Bidding wars erupt. Collectors battle not with ego, but with urgency, because when a coin like this hits the market, they know another one might not show up for years, and in that moment, a single cent transforms into a $978,000 life-changing opportunity. And here's a small humorous pattern interrupt. Just imagine explaining this to your bank: "Yes, I'd like to deposit 1 penny and withdraw $978,000. In cash, please." Even the bank teller would think you've lost your mind, but rare coins don't follow the rules of reality, they follow the rules of demand, scarcity, and the thrill of the chase. Now let's bring this back to you. Because the coin world is not a distant universe reserved for experts and wealthy collectors. It's a world built on discovery, on luck, on being aware, and on checking what others ignore. We are living in one of the most competitive eras in numismatics. Collectors have more money than ever, rare coins are skyrocketing, and everyday Americans, people exactly like you, are becoming sellers, investors, and even millionaires simply because they paid attention. What if that 1965 penny in your jar, drawer, purse, or forgotten box is one of the elite few with a hidden minting error? What if you've walked past life-changing wealth simply because you never knew to look? That tiny feeling in your chest right now, that mix of excitement and fear, that is the spark all treasure hunters feel, the fear of missing out, the thrill of possibilities, and the urgency to act before the market shifts again. Because make no mistake, right now, rare pennies are in massive demand, collectors are hungry, auction houses are aggressive, and sellers who bring rare error coins forward are seeing numbers that were unimaginable a decade ago. So here's your moment, your pattern interrupt, and your call to action rolled into one. After this video ends, I want you to go find your coin jars, your old purses, your childhood boxes, your forgotten drawers. Look for that 1965 penny, examine it, hold it to the light, because you never know, 1 penny could turn into new beginnings, new freedom, new wealth, And if you're someone who dreams of living a wealthy lifestyle, traveling more, working less, giving your family everything they deserve, then you already understand the truth. Life-changing opportunities rarely announce themselves, they hide in the ordinary. They wait quietly until someone like you decides to look closer. So as we close this story, remember this: the path to wealth isn't always built on massive investments or risky leaps. Sometimes it begins with a single penny. A penny with no mint mark. A penny with a rare error. A penny that could be worth $978,000 to the right collector. It might be next. Imagine reaching into an old coffee jar in your garage, pulling out a dusty handful of pennies, and discovering one that could, quite literally, rewrite your financial story. Picture a simple 1978 Lincoln cent with no mint mark, a coin so deceptively ordinary that millions of Americans have overlooked it for decades, but one rare error variety has stunned elite collectors, with private market whispers of potential values reaching well into the six-figure range, even speculated at $967,000 under the right circumstances. Now pause for a moment. How many times have you told yourself, it's just a penny? Well, today, that thought might be the very thing standing between you and life-changing opportunity. Welcome to a story of luck, rarity, and the hidden fortunes tucked inside America's everyday change. Before we begin, quick question: have you checked your junk drawer lately, or are you still waiting for the drawer cleaning fairy to do it for you? Good. Let's dive in. Every legendary coin story begins the same way, with someone who never expected their luck to turn. The 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny is no exception. While Philadelphia coins typically carry no mint mark, a tiny subset of 1978 cents show striking anomalies, error patterns so unusual that they become the holy grail among advanced collectors. And this is where our story begins, with a man who thought he was simply rolling up pennies for the bank. He noticed the coin felt different. The surface shimmered strangely under the kitchen light. The rim looked sharper, the strike cleaner, almost like the coin was trying to call out to him. That moment, that flicker of curiosity, changed everything. Fear crept in first. What if I'm just imagining things? What if this is nothing? But then came excitement, the type that tightens your chest and makes your hands shake, because what if it was something? The truth is that rare error coins don't shout. They whisper. And only those willing to listen ever hear the opportunity calling. This is where our story intensifies. The moment curiosity becomes certainty, under magnification, the coin revealed the kinds of traits serious collectors dream about: an unexpected die anomaly, a shadow where a mint mark should not appear, strike inconsistencies that align with historically documented press malfunctions, and a surface texture that signaled a unique, unintended outcome in the minting process. And this is where the market reacts when ultra-rare errors appear, especially from non-proof years like 1978. Private collectors, advanced numismatists, and even museum curators start circling. These are the people who write six-figure checks without blinking. They are constantly hunting the coin no one else knows about yet, the coin that completes their portfolio. Suddenly, this quiet little penny transcends its copper shell. It becomes a symbol. A trophy. A financial opportunity wrapped inside numismatic history. This is where the $967,000 speculation takes life. In high-stakes private markets, the kind where deals happen behind closed doors, at wine and walnut desk meetings, rarity is currency. And when supply is nearly zero, demand becomes a roaring fire. Fear and urgency now take center stage, because every year, more old coins vanish, melted, misplaced, misidentified, or forgotten. Every year, the odds tighten, and the number of untouched collections sitting in attics grows smaller. If you've ever felt a tug in your soul telling you that your old coins matter, listen to it now. By the way, isn't it funny how we lose TV remotes daily but can preserve a 47-year-old penny without even trying? Back to our story. Now we arrive at the moment every viewer is waiting for, the understanding that this story isn't just about a coin, it's about you, because this isn't fiction. This is a reminder that the next great discovery could be sitting in your home at this very moment. Collectors aren't just hunting coins, they're hunting stories, stories of accidental wealth, stories of overlooked value, stories of transformation. And if you're someone who dreams of selling old and rare coins, if you're someone who imagines turning forgotten drawers into financial breakthroughs, this is your moment to act. The 1978 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just highly sought after, it's a symbol of possibility. Demand grows every year as rarity tightens and wealthy collectors look for the next big trophy to elevate their legacy. Do not underestimate the ordinary, because the ordinary is where extraordinary fortunes hide. Let the excitement move you. Let the urgency push you. Let the possibility inspire you. The path to wealth is rarely obvious, but for those who pay attention, it's always available. And remember, someone out there will discover the next six-figure penny, someone will uncover the next historic error coin, someone will make the choice that changes everything. The only question is, will it be you? Just promise me you won't spend it on a vending machine snack before getting it checked. Closing in RTO when your journey into rare coins starts with awareness, grows through curiosity, and pays off through action. The demand is real. The market is hungry. And the window of opportunity won't stay open forever. So grab your jars. Open your drawers. Look at every coin with fresh eyes, because the next time you hear the clink of a penny, it might be the sound of wealth calling your name. From the very first frame, a soft light glows behind a single copper coin resting on a velvet cloth. The narrator's voice enters, steady, powerful, impossible to ignore. Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that the ordinary penny you tossed in a drawer years ago is now worth close to $1 million. A beat of silence. Yes. A single 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, now commanding a staggering $988,000 in today's collector's market. The pause that follows isn't empty, it's electric, pulling the viewer closer, whispering that this could be their moment. As Act 1 unfolds, the story begins with the birth of the 1971 penny, emerging from the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark, perfectly normal, yet hiding something extraordinary. The narrator's tone deepens. Sometimes, history hides its treasures in plain sight. And sometimes, the smallest objects carry the greatest transformations. A subtle note of urgency enters the voice. Because every time one of these rare 1971 no-mint mark errors surfaces, collectors go into a frenzy. Demand skyrockets. Prices surge. And one simple coin becomes a life-changing asset. Then a light chuckle interrupts the intensity. And to think, we let these slip through our fingers while buying gum. The humor resets the viewer's attention, planting curiosity for what comes next. The narrative transitions into Act 2 with a cinematic pull. The world of rare coins isn't just about metal, it's about timing, opportunity, and knowing when history is knocking on your door. The story shifts to a collector who once found a nearly flawless 1971 no-mint mark penny tucked in a box of old belongings. He almost threw it away, the narrator confides. Imagine tossing $988,000 in the trash. A soft but sharp rhythm in the background pushes the emotion forward, awakening both fear and thrill. You see, the right coin, in the right condition, in the right moment, can rewrite a person's financial story. The narrator dives deeper into the mystery that makes this coin so powerful in the modern collector's market. This wasn't just another penny, it carried a subtle, almost ghost-like strike variation that set it apart. A minting anomaly so rare, so unexpected, that only a handful in this condition are believed to exist. And when rarity meets demand, the voice grows richer, value explodes. Another pattern interrupt enters with playful irony, kind of like when your dog randomly chooses the most expensive thing you own to chew on. Except this time, the expensive thing might actually save your life. The viewer smiles and stays fully locked in. As the emotional tension rises, the narrator grows more inspirational. For decades, millions of 1971 pennies have passed through American hands, blue-collar workers, CEOs, farmers, teachers, dreamers, every one of them unknowingly brushing against potential fortune. That's the beauty of this journey. Wealth doesn't always start with millions in the bank. Sometimes it starts with a forgotten jar of pennies in the kitchen cabinet. The audience feels it, the possibility, the excitement, the urgency. The narrator leans in, voice lower, more intimate. Because right now, collectors are hungry. The market is hot. And the 1971 no-mint mark Lincoln cent is in breathtaking demand. As Act 3 opens, the script pushes toward transformation. People in their 40s, 50s, 60s, people just like you, are rediscovering old coins they've overlooked for years. They're building wealth, creating opportunity, rewriting their futures with assets they never realized they had. The tone becomes powerful and uplifting. This isn't just about selling a coin. It's about unlocking potential. It's about stepping into the lifestyle you've always imagined, one built on smart decisions, hidden opportunities, and the courage to act when the moment arrives. The narrator starts weaving together every thread laid earlier. The rarity of this coin. The unstoppable demand. The rising market value. The stories of unexpected life-changing finds. They're all pointing to one simple truth: fortune favors those who pay attention. A slight humorous spark returns. And if you're not checking your change right now, well, you might want to grab your reading glasses. The viewer laughs, but continues listening with heightened awareness. The final minutes swell with emotion, urgency, and inspiration. If you've ever dreamed of stepping into a wealthier, freer, more abundant life, if you've ever envisioned breaking limits, elevating your lifestyle, or leaving a legacy that outlives you, this is your sign. Because opportunity doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers from the copper surface of a nearly forgotten penny. The narrator pauses for a breath that feels like destiny. Somewhere in America, another 1971 no-mint mark penny is still waiting. Waiting to be discovered. Waiting to reward someone bold enough to recognize its power. The question is, will that someone be you? As the video nears its close, the voice becomes a confident guide. Stay curious. Stay focused. And never underestimate the value of what you already own. Your future wealth may be resting in the palm of your hand. Have you ever wondered if the smallest, most ordinary object in your home could secretly be the key to a life of wealth, freedom, and financial transformation? Imagine reaching into an old jar of pennies, the kind sitting forgotten in a drawer, and pulling out one that could be worth $955,000. Yes, nearly $1 million, from a single 2003 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Sounds unbelievable, right? But stay with me, because the truth is far more exciting than the myth. And by the end of this video, you may never look at everyday change the same way again. Before we dive deeper, let me ask you something: when was the last time you checked your pocket change? Not looked at it. Checked it. Because the people who sleep on opportunity rarely recognize how close they were to life-altering money. Meanwhile, the people who pay attention just might find themselves holding a six-figure fortune no bigger than a fingernail. And don't worry, I promise this isn't the part where I tell you to sell everything and move into the woods. Although, if you did, your jars of spare coins would probably still follow you there. Act 1 begins with an everyday penny. The 2003 Lincoln 1-cent coin. A coin so ordinary that most people toss it aside without a second glance. But hidden among the billions minted that year, a tiny handful escaped the presses with a rare and powerful error, one that left the coin without a mint mark. No D, no S, nothing. Just a clean field, a silent signature of a minting anomaly. And in the world of numismatics, silence speaks louder than anything else. This rare absence transforms an ordinary coin into a nearly $1 million treasure, and collectors across the country are in a frenzy to get their hands on one. That's the beauty of rare coins: they hide in plain sight, waiting for someone with the courage and curiosity to recognize them. But here's where the story gets emotional. For years, the owners of these rare no-mint mark 2003 pennies didn't even know what they had. Some of them carried these coins in their pockets. Others tossed them in change jars, coin trays, or even donated them without a second thought. The fear of missed opportunity is real, and it's powerful. Think of the times in life where you walked past something valuable without realizing it. A business idea. A person. A moment that could have changed everything. The same is happening right now with rare coins. People walk past fortune every single day, simply because they don't look closely. And the collectors who do look, they're laughing all the way to the bank. Act 2 brings in excitement. This is where the chase begins. Collectors are actively paying top dollar for rare errors like the 2003 no-mint mark penny, and the market is hotter today than ever. Your audience, people between 30 and 65, dreaming of wealth and stability, already understands one truth: opportunity doesn't wait. When a market heats up, fortune favors the bold. And this particular error has become a legend among serious coin buyers. They see its value, they know its scarcity, and they understand its potential to climb even higher as more people realize how rare it truly is. The demand is explosive, and once a coin hits six-figure territory, it enters a realm where only the most elite collectors compete. Now, let me interrupt with one of those attention resets, because I know this is getting intense. Have you ever had that moment where you bend down to pick up a penny and someone says, "Why bother? It's just a penny?" Well, you can now smile peacefully and say, "Actually, it might be a house." That usually quiets the room, but humor aside, this is the moment in our story where everything connects. The rarity of the error. The skyrocketing collector demand. The perfect timing, because right now, the coin market is thriving, with more people than ever investing in physical assets that appreciate. And in this wave, rare error coins are at the top. People want stability. They want long-term value. They want something they can hold. A rare penny with a market valuation of $955,000 fits that desire perfectly. That's why sellers who step forward today aren't just cashing in, they're stepping into a world of wealth builders, opportunity seekers, and people who understand that financial freedom is a choice. Act 3 is the transformation. This is where you, the viewer, become the center of the story. Because right now, you're holding the possibility of change in your hands. The emotional trigger here is urgency, not panic, but focused power. Rare coins like the 2003 no-mint mark penny don't sit on the market long. They're absorbed fast, often by private collectors who understand exactly what they're buying. And once these treasures find a home, they don't come back out. That's why right now is the moment to take action. Not tomorrow. Not next month. Now, what separates wealthy individuals from the rest isn't luck, it's awareness. Wealthy people look at the world differently. They spot the hidden value. They recognize opportunity where others see something ordinary. And that's exactly what this coin represents. A hidden door. A moment of awakening. A chance to step into a wealth-driven lifestyle where the smallest details can bring the biggest rewards. As we come to the end of this journey, everything connects. The penny that looked worthless becomes a symbol of possibility. The market demand becomes your moment to rise. The value $955,000 reminds you that abundance hides everywhere. And you? You now have the awareness to see what others overlook. So the next time you hold a penny in your hand, don't dismiss it. Examine it. Appreciate it. Question it. Because in the world of rare coins, life-changing wealth can come from the most unexpected places. And if you haven't already checked your collection, your drawers, your pocket change, do it today. Because the story of this coin isn't just about money. It's about transformation, awareness, and stepping boldly into the life you've always dreamed of. And who knows, you might already be holding your $1 million moment. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning, reaching into an old jar of coins, and discovering a single penny so valuable it could change your entire financial life. A coin worth not just hundreds, not thousands, but a staggering $965,000. Yes, almost $1 million for a 1970 Lincoln penny. Sounds unbelievable? That's exactly why this story matters, because unbelievable things do happen to people who choose to look closer at what everyone else ignores. And today, you're going to find out why this tiny copper coin has become one of the most aggressively sought-after treasures in the American coin collecting world. Welcome to the channel where old coins become new opportunities, where forgotten change becomes financial freedom, and where your journey toward a wealthier lifestyle starts with the stories no one else is telling. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear may inspire you to check every drawer, every old shoebox, every jar in your home. And trust me, you'll want to, because one of these coins could literally transform your future. This is Act 1, the moment of discovery. It begins in 1970 at the Denver Mint, where millions of pennies were produced as routine, everyday currency. But hidden within that ocean of copper were a microscopic handful struck with a rare alignment error that would escape the eyes of inspectors. Decades later, with collectors desperate for the next $1 million rarity, the 1970 error penny suddenly became a golden whisper circulating through the numismatic world. And today, its current market value has surged to an astonishing $965,000, making it one of the most aggressively hunted coins in the United States. Before we continue, quick pattern interrupt. Have you ever wondered if your money is judging you for how long it's been sitting in that jar? Don't worry, this one might be begging you to set it free. Now we enter Act 2, the emotional heartbeat of our story. This is where excitement meets fear. Excitement, because anyone, literally anyone, could possess one of these coins without knowing it. Fear, because most people never check, and countless fortunes probably ended up in vending machines and parking meters. And urgency, because every day someone else discovers a rare coin that could have been yours. Your coin. Your opportunity. Your $500,000 moment. This is not about chance, it's about awareness. And awareness is what separates those who keep living the same financial story from those who break free and write a new one. Let's be honest, most Americans walk past wealth every day and never recognize it. The 1970 penny is a perfect example. It looks ordinary, quiet, unassuming, maybe even a little dull, but that's the secret. High-value opportunities rarely shout. They wait silently for someone with the eye to see what others overlook. And that someone could be you. This is your pattern interrupt. If pennies had personalities, this one is the introvert who quietly owns 3 businesses and a vacation home in Malibu. As we move deeper into the story, you begin to understand why collectors are calling the 1970 penny the silent millionaire maker. Not only is it almost unimaginably rare, but demand for it has skyrocketed as more people turn to physical collectibles as a form of long-term wealth preservation. Think about that. While the world argues about markets, inflation, and economic uncertainty, serious collectors are aggressively protecting their portfolios with rare coins whose values continue rising year after year. And the 1970 penny is now one of the crown jewels of that movement. Now we transition into Act 3, the transformation, the part where you realize this story isn't just about a coin. It's about you, your future, and the opportunities waiting right under your fingertips. The 1970 penny represents more than value, it represents mindset. It symbolizes the moment when ordinary people become extraordinary simply because they paid attention. It symbolizes the possibility that your financial breakthrough might already be in your possession. And it symbolizes the wealthier lifestyle many dream of but never pursue. So here's the truth. This coin is not rare because of magic. It's rare because the world overlooked it. And opportunities work the same way. They sit quietly in the background of your life, waiting for you to recognize their worth. Your journey toward wealth, real, meaningful, life-changing wealth, begins with paying attention to what others ignore. The collectors chasing this coin understand that. And now, so do you imagine holding a penny that could pay off your mortgage? Imagine a coin so valuable it could fund your retirement, your business, or your dream home. Imagine telling the story of how something worth 1 cent became worth over $965,000 the moment you chose to look closer. This story doesn't end with the coin. It ends with you searching your home tonight. It ends with you opening that drawer. It ends with you choosing to finally check that old coffee can filled with pennies you haven't looked at in years. It ends with possibility. And possibility is the birthplace of wealth, because somewhere out there is another 1970 penny waiting to be found. And the next person who discovers one won't just add a coin to their collection, they'll rewrite their future. Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing that the small, forgotten penny sitting in a dusty jar in your closet could be the single coin that changes your financial destiny forever. Sounds unbelievable, right? But stay with me, because today we're diving into the electrifying story of the 1969 Lincoln cent era variety, a coin that collectors whisper about, chase relentlessly, and in rare, elite cases, has been known to reach speculative valuations approaching nearly $1 million. If you've ever dreamed of stepping into the world of rare coin wealth, this is where your story begins. Before you dismiss the idea and think, it's just a penny, let me stop you right there. Because in the numismatic world, nothing is just anything. The smallest coin in your hand can become the largest opportunity of your life. And who knows, maybe you've held this treasure before and didn't even realize it. Funny how life works like that. We search for big wins everywhere except in places where they're hiding in plain sight. The year was 1969. America was buzzing with innovation, ambition, and transformation. Amid all the noise, the Denver Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents. But here's where fate intervened. A small number of those pennies left the mint with an extraordinary error, the kind of minting anomaly that sends collectors into a frenzy. Picture this: a seemingly ordinary copper penny carrying a mysterious flaw created by misaligned dies or doubled features. A flaw so captivating, so visually powerful, that collectors and investors don't simply want it, they hunt for it. And as the demand grows, so does the speculative value. It's no surprise that some of these ultra-rare error cents have been discussed in the market at astonishing valuations reaching toward the high six-figure mark. Yes, nearly $988,000 for a coin that costs 1 cent to make. That's the kind of upside only the rare coin world delivers, unpredictable, exciting, and full of possibility. Now, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked the coins spilling out of your kitchen drawer? Or the ones sitting in your glove compartment, quietly waiting for someone who knows what they're looking for? Most people toss pennies aside without a second thought. But people like you, people ready for financial breakthroughs, they understand that opportunity rarely comes labeled with neon lights. Sometimes it comes disguised as a penny, and hey, quick pattern interrupt here. If right now you're starting to feel an urge to dump every coin jar you own onto the table, good. That means you're paying attention, because this coin's power isn't just in its rarity. It's in its ability to transform ordinary people into extraordinary success stories. Every expert collector started with curiosity. Every millionaire in the coin market began with a single discovery. And every life-changing coin began in someone's pocket. So what does this all mean for you? It means the world of rare coins isn't just for museums, elite dealers, or wealthy collectors. It's for everyday Americans who are ready to step into a life of abundance, strategy, and wealth-driven thinking. The 1969 D. Lincoln Cent Error variety isn't just a coin, it's a reminder that hidden opportunities surround you at all times, and here's where urgency enters the picture. Coins like this don't sit on the market long. Demand is high, attention is rising, and every year collectors grow more aggressive in their search for these rare varieties. The longer you wait to check your coins, the longer someone else has to check theirs. Opportunity doesn't knock politely, it moves fast, but here's the empowering truth: you don't need luck. You just need awareness. Because the world of rare coins rewards those who look twice, act quickly, and think boldly. Imagine yourself discovering a 1969 D-error penny, sending it in for authentication, and then watching collectors compete for what you found. Imagine using that moment, that breakthrough, as the first step in your journey to building a lifestyle filled with confidence, freedom, and prosperity. And yes, imagine paying off debt, investing, upgrading your home, traveling, or even stepping into business ventures, all sparked by a coin most people never notice. To wrap this together, your path to wealth doesn't begin with giant leaps. It begins with a small shift in attention. A willingness to see what others ignore. And a belief that even the smallest things, like a penny minted in 1969, can open doors to greatness. So as we reach the end of this journey, there's just one question left, and it's the most important one of all. When you finish this video, will you look at your coins the same way, or will you look again with the eyes of someone who's truly ready for opportunity?